Hello, my name is Jasmine Frizzell, and for my persuasive speech, I have chosen my topic is protecting our Second Amendment rights, and I hope to persuade my audience to protect our right to bear arms. Our Second Amendment right was put into place in 1791 in order to protect ourselves, our families, to own guns, and to be able to protect ourselves from tyranny of the government if that was ever going to happen. My organizational pattern is problem, cause, solution as well. One day, Jack Wilson, a security for his church, was attending church just like every other day. He noticed a suspicious man walk into the room, and before he can make any sudden movements, this gunman pulled out a gun and took two innocent lives. Jack also had a gun on him, his gun that he was legally able to obtain. And he took the matters into his own hands to stop this person from taking any more innocent lives. And if he did not have that gun, Jack would never be able to stop that gunman, and it could have been way worse. Every life taken is sad, but someone being able to save more is amazing, in my opinion. Many people across the world own guns, and most gun owners say that the main reason that they have guns is to protect themselves. According to a Pew Research study, protection tops the list of reasons why gun owners have a gun. 2/3 of gun owners, 67%, say this is the prime reason they own a gun. With many days of research, I have found that there was many times that armed citizens were able to protect themselves and others, and how many times the media failed to report the times when a gun actually saved a life rather than destroyed one. After explaining how strict gun laws do not always work, how easily criminals obtain guns, and how the right to protect ourselves is now at stake, I hope you'll have a better understanding of why infringing on certain rights can be detrimental. The problem that I see arises is what I'm going to talk about next, the problem with gun control. According to a May 10, 2016 Lancet study, most state-level gun control laws do not reduce firearm death rates, and of 25 state laws, 9 were associated with higher gun death rates. The gun control controversy has been going on for a long time, and proven throughout history that countries and states that have strict gun laws usually have the highest amounts of crime. According to ProCon, Mexico has some of the strictest gun control laws in the world, and yet in 2012, Mexico had 11,309 gun murders, 9.97 gun homicides per 100,000 people, compared to the United States, which had 9,146 homicides, which is 2.97 per 100,000 people. This also includes states with those strict gun laws as well. Also, according to USA Today by Rich Pratt, gun-free zones are magnets for killers. Consider that almost 98% of public mass shootings occur in these victim mandatory zones. These statistics conclude that stricter laws put in place do not have as great of an outcome as we would have hoped. So now that I've talked to you about the problem and I will talk about some of the causes of why it doesn't work. Although we would like to believe that laws are put into place and they were never going to be broken, we know realistically that's not going to happen. An opposing view is that there should be better regulation of who can buy and own a gun, is one of the main advocates for opposing guns and wanting better gun control. But according to a February 20, 2018 Quinnipiac poll, 97% of American voters and 97% of gun owners support universal background checks, meaning that 97% of people are in favor of this and not against it. Everyone, I think, can come together and believe that it's a great idea. I don't really see a lot of harm in it, but there could arise problems when illegal stuff happens. Which would bring me to my next point, is criminals are where the problem arises. When these registered guns are stolen and a crime is committed with them, it is now being traced back to the person that the gun is registered to. Even without stealing guns, criminals are easily able to obtain guns, and although we don't have a lot of evidence to exactly where they're able to get these guns, There's black markets they can buy them from, there's friends, there's other prisoners or felons that they usually get them from, or they just steal them out of people's houses. And another problem is that the mentally ill is also gaining more access to guns and causing a lot of trauma to many people. And also, there's not a lot of evidence to know exactly where each person that's mentally ill or each criminal gets these guns. It's also just critical thinking that mentally ill is every disease, schizophrenia, just people that are not always all mentally there, so they'll do crazy things, which would mean that they would also be stealing them, buying them illegally, or getting them illegally just as much as criminals, and maybe more. We don't know. So for my solution, now that I've talked about the problem and how it progresses, I'm going to talk to you about some things that I see to be a solution given this research. So after countless research, there seems to be only a few ethical solutions to this problem. The first one is to report any suspicious activity with a gun. Anyone you know who is not supposed to have a gun, meaning they have a mental illness, they weren't able to obtain one legally, or they're not supposed to have one legally. Or just anyone that you think would be harm to themselves or others is called a mandated reporter, and we have the right to report that. My second one is to protect yourself while you still can. If we could always be protected by our police officers, then we would never need a Second Amendment, but we know that that is obviously not ethical. And also, lastly, if tyranny was not a problem, the government would never try to take our guns, but we know that we learned in our history books it is the first step to being vulnerable, overthrown, and to result in really bad, unfortunate things. To conclude, as I explained throughout my speech, there's a large problem. Gun control is not working, and as long as there are bad people and loopholes, the best we can do is report it and protect ourselves and our families and our right from being infringed. We with small voices can only do so much, but it is our right. If there's ever a time when you can help make a difference, I hope you would do so. We can protect ourselves, each other, and report anything illegal, and to me, that is making a difference. So I hope you learned something, and I persuaded you to stick up for yourself, stick up for others, and be a good mandated reporter as a citizen. And I look forward to hearing your speeches and hope you enjoyed mine. Thank you.